There's a halacha in Simon Tafresh Gimel, the Mechar brings down. I don't remember if he spoke to Sal last year or not, but even if he did, it's Kedai L'Chazir. The Mechar says, Af mish ein nizir ben pas shal kutim, v'aseres me'tshuva, tzarich l'zar. Even somebody who's usually not careful at pas shal kutim, means pas akum, doesn't mean real pas akum, it means pas palter. Aseres me'tshuva, he should be careful and not eat pas palter. And we know there's a heter of pas palter, pas akum, you're not allowed to eat, pas palter from a baker, but you don't have a direct shaykhis to the person who made the bread, there's a heter to eat it, but aseres me'tshuva, you should be makbid not to eat pas palter. Now the question is, aseres me'tshuva, you can makbid, you're not going to pas palter.
Right after.
About cooking stores, it's coming from a...
So cooking is a question, what's called pas palter? I think we gave a share about that, what's called pas palter or what's not.
It's owned by God, but under Hashgacha.
Yeah, even though it has a shkocha, but it could be...
Not by God.
Yeah, that's pas palter. Yeah, that's...
Mention it.
No, it's talking about who turned on the fire. That's what it is. Pas Yisrael and Bishul Yisrael is about the fire.
Yeah, if a lot of times it says in the packaging it's pas palter or...
Never says pas palter.
It says pas akum, yeah, pas Yisrael. It says
pas Yisrael. Never says, yeah.
If it's pas Yisrael, it says pas Yisrael in it. Yeah. So aseres me'tshuva or makbid, we don't need pas palter. And right afterwards, we go back and we eat pas palter. And not just pas palter, this is only one chumrah that's brought down. There's other chumras also. Everybody should have their own chumrah that they don't have all year round. They should do it during aseres me'tshuva, and they should be makbid on it, whatever it is. And that's only during aseres me'tshuva. After that, you go back to your old ways.
Probably you're supposed to. That way you showed that you made a special effort for a certain...
But why? What is that? Who are we fooling?
It's a Ramah.
Huh?
It's a Ramah.
It's a Ramah. It's a Ramah. You're trying to fool Hashem. He doesn't know what you like all year round. Come and say to me, Tshuva.
Seems to work every year.
And you go ahead and you have a chumrah. You take a chumrah upon yourself. What's pshat in that din? What's pshat in that din? So I've heard people say that the reason is because we want to show what we really want to be like. Also, that's not a good answer. You want to show what you want to be like, so then do it.
Then be like that.
Then be like that. Every year you show what you want to be like, and it doesn't say one year take a chumrah pas palter, next year a different chumrah. The Mechaber says one halacha pas palter. So who are we fooling? So I think the answer is very pashut. Very pashut. I think the answer is. And if you think about it, I think it's emes pshat in this halacha. I always give an example that we have our daily lives. Everyone, let's say, in their house, especially if you have kids in the house is never perfectly clean. There's shoes lying around, there's stuff lying on the tables. But when you have a guest coming to your house, what do? You go ahead and you clean up the house.
Put everything under the bed.
You put everything, whatever you want under the bed. You put the stuff up the drawers. Whatever you want to do, you clean everything up. You clean everything up, and you make sure everything is neat. And the guest comes. Now, when the guest comes into the house, he knows that an hour ago the house was a mess.
Maybe.
And he knows that. Both houses are perfect, and it shouldn't be perfect because you can't live a life that everything is in its place every second of the day. So a guest comes in, he knows it wasn't that way. He knows to clean it up for him. Are you fooling him? You're not fooling him. What are you doing? You're honoring him. You're saying, listen, for you, I'm going to make it look clean and neat. He leaves, the house goes back to the way it was. Everything is back.
Or the opposite.
Or the opposite, yeah. Or worse than it was.
Yeah, once the guests leave, then the house is upside down.
Yeah, everything is back to the way it was. So what happened when the guest came? He fooled the guest, he didn't fool the guest. He knew exactly what goes on here. He knows what the house looks like beforehand, what it's going to look like afterwards. But for respect for the guest, he cleaned up the house. Aseres me'tshuva says, Hashem comes closer to us. Hashem be matzai, be yesikorav. David is closer to us as a guest that's coming closer to whatever that means. But Hashem is much closer to us than aseres me'tshuva. When we're doing things better than aseres me'tshuva, we're not fooling Hashem. He knows what we're like all year round. But if we're not going to act differently when Hashem is closer, what we're doing is we're ignoring the fact that He's here. We're not giving the respect due to the fact that He's here. That we can't do. When Hashem comes closer, we have to show Him, yes, I realize that you're closer, and therefore I'm acting differently. It's not that we're fooling Him. He knows that, oh yeah, we don't act this way. But if we don't do it, then it's dishonor. It's not respect for Hashem, because He's closer to us in these days. Therefore, people take on chumras in these days to show that we recognize that Hashem is closer in these days. So it's not a ramois, we're not fooling Hashem, it's respect for Hashem to show Him that we realize that He's closer. Now, it's interesting, the chumrah here in Simon Tafresh Gimel is that someone was not nizir in Paltur all year, now he should be nizir in Pasachim. It doesn't say you shouldn't eat, you should fast. The next halacha, Tafresh Dal, the mitzvah lechel Pas Yisrael. You should mark with eat Pas Yisrael. The next siman, Tafresh Dalet, mitzvah lechel be'erev Yom Kippurim laharbas besuda. It's a mitzvah to eat erev Yom Kippur and to be marber in a suda. Now, what's the reason for that? Why erev Yom Kippur is there a din that you're supposed to be marber besuda, you're supposed to eat erev Yom Kippur? Where does it come from? So the Gemara learns it out. It says in the pasuk that you should fast. So the Gemara learns out that anybody who eats in the 9th day, says if he fasted the 9th day and the 10th day. We'll see exactly what that means soon. It says if he fasted the 9th day and the 10th day. So we learn that from the Gemara learns that from a pasuk, that a person should eat on Erev Yom Kippur in order to be considered like he fasted 2 days in a row. Chi and Asiri. Now, what's the reason for the mitzvah? So they're trying to bring down the reason for the mitzvah of eating Erev Yom Kippur is very practical. You're fasting on Yom Kippur. The Torah says, make sure you have koiches beforehand to eat, to fast.
You have to have in mind when you're eating that it's for a purpose.
It's for the mitzvah. Yeah. We'll see, we'll get to that. If you have the mitzvah kavana, if you have to. So that's why we eat Erev Yom Kippur. We eat Erev Yom Kippur to show, in order to have strength, in order to fast. That's where mitzvah comes from. Now, I saw recently in the Sefer that there's another reason why it's a mitzvah to eat on Erev Yom Kippur. Besides the fact that Pashat you should have practical, you should have strength to fast on Yom Kippur. Because on Yom Kippur, what are we doing? On Yom Kippur, basically what we're doing is we're staying away from food, eating, drinking, acting malachim. Sometimes, and a lot of times, it's much easier to control yourself when you're totally disconnected. You say, I'm fasting today, I'm not eating anything today. It's much easier to control yourself not to eat a whole day in Yom Kippur than it is when you're eating to be careful what you're eating. It's much harder. If a person says, totally, I'm not eating anything, you can manage for a day not to eat. But while the person is eating and say, listen, I'm only going to eat this, I'm not going to eat that, we know it's much harder to control what we're eating while we're eating than not to eat at all. So the Torah gave us a mitzvah, Erev Yom Kippurim, that to show, tomorrow is a mitzvah not to eat at all. But there's also a mitzvah to eat. They're both the same exact mitzvah. To eat and not to eat are both the same exact mitzvah. And when you're supposed to eat, make sure you're eating the right things. I'm not talking about now dietetics, I'm not talking about dietary, I'm talking about kashrus now. Make sure you're eating the right things. That's what the mitzvah of Achilas Erev Yom Kippur is a mitzvah. Today is the mitzvah of the yeses, the positives, eat and be careful what you eat, and tomorrow is the mitzvah of don't eat at all.
What about how you eat? Like the bracha that you make on it? The
bracha that you make in it. Yeah, the bracha that you make, how you eat. I think I once said it over here. That Chafetz Chaim, someone once asked the Chafetz Chaim, am I allowed to eat? If I eat, what was the exact lashon? Oh, if I eat without a yarmulke, am I a goy? And we know the halacha of wearing a yarmulke is starting from a minhag to cover your head. There's no din Torah you have to wear a yarmulke. It's brought down, it's a minhag, we started now, everyone wears a yarmulke. So he asked the Chafetz Chaim, if I eat without a yarmulke, am I a goy? I'm not a goy. What's the wrong if I eat without a yarmulke? So the Chafetz Chaim answered him, a goy est on a yarmulke. That means if you eat without a yarmulke, you're not a goy, but a goy eats without a yarmulke. Meaning, if you eat without a yarmulke, that's where you're going to end up. The actual eating without a yarmulke doesn't make you into a goy. But a goy eats without a yarmulke. Meaning, even when you're eating, you have to act Jewish. Don't take off a yarmulke while you're eating. And making brachas and all these things. You know, it's kedai. So Erev Yom Kippur is a mitzvah to eat. And it's kedai, Erev Yom Kippur, when does the mitzvah to eat? To realize that the mitzvah to eating it's not just to eat, and it's a mitzvah to eat that we should be careful how we eat and what we eat.
You were supposed to have another meal, right?
Yeah.
Does that have to be before chatzos or not? It could be after chatzos.
It says Batzarayim in the morning.
So it should be before.
Yeah. Supposed to have 2 sudas Erev Kippur, one in the morning and 1 sudas Hafsekas.
The interesting thing, when a person goes to court, for their life, right? They usually have no appetite.
They give you a last meal.
They have no that's after it's over.
They give you the last meal.
No, they give you the last meal before execution.
Right.
And you go to trial.
Oh, trial.
Right? And you stand in front of a judge.
Right.
A lot of people
So
can't eat.
It's interesting.
Right?
I saw
Because they have no confidence in how it's going to turn out.
I saw in a sefer a step further. The way you're saying
That's where I'm going.
That the reason why we eat Erev Yom Kippur is because during the Seder Tshuva we're doing Tshuva. And Yom Adin. And people are nervous for the Yom Adin. And you don't have an appetite to eat as you're going to the Yom Adin. Unfortunately, we don't feel that way, but I guess it used to be the Yom Adin. People were really scared of the Yom Adin. Yeah. The day before the Yom Adin, people didn't have an appetite to eat. They were nervous about the Yom Adin. Torah says, no, now it's a mitzvah to eat. Now, break your taiva not to eat and eat. I used to have a chaver, he used to make a joke, and he used to say, I have such a taiva to learn, but I'm going to break my taivas. That's what he used to say. I'm going to break my taivas. The same thing over here. When it comes that it's Erev Yom Kippur, when a person doesn't have an appetite to eat, now you can be a mitzvah of eating, because now you're eating L'Shem Shamayim. Now you're not eating because you want to eat, now you're eating L'Shem Shamayim.
I was going someplace a little differently. Yeah. In the sense that we believe that if we've done our tshuva properly, and there's a level of sincerity, that we come out, we're going into Sukkot. Right? We have a proper judgment, a good judgment, a merciful judgment. Right? So, although you're going into, you described the case. Right? Why was that lawyer last week so confident he was going to win?
Right, because he knew the judge was.
He could have a good meal in that morning knowing he's going to come out successful. Right?
So you're saying the reason why we eat is we're celebrating what we're going to have afterwards.
If we've done our job.
We're celebrating, right. We're celebrating.
We don't fear the outcome if we've done it right.
Yeah, okay, very good.
You're confident that
we're confident that we're going to win. We'll come out with a good din. Very good.
Because at the end of davening, that's what it says, is now go home and eat. That's forgiven you.
So now, that's another reason why we eat Erev Yom Kippur. But the truth is, in Torah it says, fast on Yom Kippur and eat Erev Yom Kippur. Now, eating Erev Yom Kippur is a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to eat. What type of mitzvah is it? How much do you have to eat? So, the Minchas Chinuch, it's a famous Minchas Chinuch that says that usually eating, if you have a mitzvah chilas matzah, how much do you have to eat for chilas matzah? Kazayis. How much do you have to eat for any mitzvah? It's a kazayis. So the Minchas Chinuch says, the Torah says, we learn that from there they have to eat Erev Yom Kippur. So it says the Minchas Chinuch, the fact that it says achila in a lashon of inui, it says inui means pain. Right? When you don't eat, you have inui. When you eat, you don't have inui, you're enjoying it. So why is the Torah saying in the lashon of inui? So he says, usually achila is a kazayas. It says at Erev Yom Kippur, how much is a shir achila? The same way on Yom Kippur. When are you over on Yom Kippur if you eat? Kazayas is not over. It's kazayas, a date. Right? Because it has to be something that satiates you. If you eat less than that, you're not even achila Yom Kippur. That's what people who are sick or they have to eat. They take pachos mikashir. Because there's no instant to eat, and if you're Chatz Shir, you're not supposed to do it. But if there's no chorus on the Chatz Shir. So, since on Yom Kippur itself, the Shir Achila is Kikaseves, Kedei Svir, Kedei Mesav Daitoi, the same thing, Erev Yom Kippur, when it says you have to eat, how much do you have to eat? Kikaseves also. Enough that satiates you. Kikaseves.
So, someone told me you've taken medication, or even a pill that opens, let's say you have a headache, you take a pill, you can drink a little bit of water.
On Yom Kippur?
Yeah.
If you have to, yeah.
Less than a share.
Less than a share, approximately
No,
a
I'm
share.
not talking about a spoonful. I'm talking about an aspirin pill.
Yes, that was a question. You take an aspirin pill on Yom Kippur. If you're not a chayla, you can't take it. Headache is not considered a chayla.
Unless it prevents the headache.
I don't know if you can take an aspirin pill on Yom Kippur.
Aspirin is not a thing. That's a heter for aspirin.
What about a person like regular heart
Or
medicine?
something like that.
Huh?
Regular heart medicine. Regular medicine.
No, regular medicine. If someone needs it, yeah, it's a chayla.
There's only a heter for
It's considered a chayla. So if you can take it, after Yom Kippur, after Yom Kippur, you're better.
Yeah.
If you got to take it every 12 hours, then you gotta take it. It's,
Yeah, I take my
Take a teaspoon of water.
Yeah.
everybody. It's a new thing. Everybody takes an aspirin before the fast starts.
Yeah, it works. My wife's been doing it for years.
It works beautifully.
Yeah.
But you take Tylenol before the fast
So
starts.
that-
It opens up.
whether you need it or not.
yeah, it helps you fast. Yeah,
Right.
that you can do. Before the fast, you can do whatever you want. So,
It only works if you get it from the coil and you pay.
yeah, and you pay, yeah.
It doesn't work.
So the Shir Achila,
Placebo effect.
so the yeah, that's a question. That's a question. Yeah.
Really? Even though it's not achila?
Right, it's Pasha this mutter. Pasha this mutter.
I never heard of us.
Intervene. It also was a question.
Divine is no.
It's not derech achila. It's also a question. These type of things. So it has to be a shir. It has to be kikasevas. But what's an afkamina? For some people that are makbid, Erev Yom Kippur, there's a mitzvah to eat. So what do? To take a candy and a sucker the whole day. I had an uncle who used to suck a lollipop the whole day.
Is the Erev Yom Kippur.
Erev Yom Kippur. And not a candy, because a candy, you're not fasting the mitzvah. It's a lollipop, the stick is sticking out, so you're fasting the mitzvah.
They keep it really?
Keep something in the mouth the whole day, and it's brought down. Yeah, the people that do that. The people that do that, they have something in the mouth. Yeah, I've seen people do it. That people keep candies in the mouth the whole day. Every Yom Kippur is a mitzvah achila.
Oh, it's a balance.
According to the Minchas Chinuch, there's no mitzvah achila if it's less than a kikasevas. Kikasevas has to be in the time frame of Kedei Achilas Pras. If you stretch it out much more, it's not considered achila at all. So according to the Minchas Chinuch, there's no reason to suck a lollipop or to suck a candy all day. According to his shot. But there are people that hold you should take a candy, suck and hold Erev Yom Kippur, because it's a mitzvah. The whole time you're in kind of mitzvah of achila. But then there's another shayla over here. People who aren't fasting on Yom Kippur, they have a reason why not to fast. Chayli, whatever, they have a reason why they're not fasting. So they have, not talking a person taking pachas mikashir. A person who's taking pachas mikashir is considered fasting. A person who is not fasting on Yom Kippur, does he have the mitzvah to eat Erev Yom Kippur? Does he have the mitzvah to eat Erev Yom Kippur?
Sure.
I think separate mitzvah, no?
So it depends. If you say the whole mitzvah of the Torah is to prepare yourself for the fast, then if you're not fasting, there's no reason for you to eat Yom Kippur, no mitzvah. You're not making a mitzvah.
It's fasting. As if you're eating, you're fasting.
Yeah, but you're not fasting Yom Kippur. So a person who's not fasting Yom Kippur. So it could be there's no mitzvah. If the reason for the mitzvah is because you're preparing yourself for the fast, then Erev Yom Kippur there will be no mitzvah to eat. One afkamin. Another afkamin is, Rabbi Kiva speaks about this. Do ladies have a mitzvah to eat Erev Yom Kippur or not? Because it's Zman Grom. Mitzvah says Zman Grom, Nashma P'turais. So they don't have to eat.
They have to fast anyway.
They have to fast. So then, says Rabbi Kiva, maybe since the whole reason for the mitzvah is because the fasting, and they have to fast, so then they're included in this mitzvah of Achil also. So we say the reason for Achila on Erev Yom Kippur is to prepare yourself for the fast. There are two big nafkaminas. One nafkamina is a lady's mechuyev to eat, to have a mitzvah to eat Erev Yom Kippur. If it's preparing for the fast, ladies have the same mitzvahs as men. And another chiluk is if you're not fasting Erev Yom, if you're not fasting Yom Kippur, if you have a mitzvah to eat on Erev Yom Kippur or not.
There's a very wide window in which you can eat, right?
do you mean?
It's from Hatzos to...
What's in the morning?
Right.
From the morning, from Alois Shachar
Right.
till the...
Till then.
The question is, the night before is the mitzvah to eat.
What if a person did not intend to fast at all on Yom Kippur, and they ate a lot on Erev Yom Kippur, and they changed their mind right before Yom Kippur?
That's fasting.
So then the mafreya, the mitzvah,
It depends. If a mitzvah is kavana,
It's taken.
then it did not become the mitzvah. If it's tzrichas kavana, maybe you become the mitzvah. Maybe you become the mitzvah. Now there's a very interesting story the Torah brings down. There's a minute that we eat fish on Erev Yom Kippur. And where does it come from?
No bones.
No bones, yeah. Okay, that's why we say achet by mincha.
Oh, yeah?
You say achet by mincha, Erev Yom Kippur, in case you might choke on a bone during the Suda
Yeah,
of
my
seconds.
mother all the time choked on a bone during the Suda.
Of seconds?
Some of the seconds. She was having, we had soup. You know those little bones, those little, what's it called?
Yeah, the gargulach.
Got stuck right in her throat.
And?
She had to go to the hospital. She was there for 3 days.
Oh boy.
So that's exactly why you don't have it, right?
She was behind the halacha.
The filter fish was made for that reason.
Right, yeah.
The filter fish is made for that reason?
Right.
It's made so you're not separating bones on Shabbos.
Oh yeah?
You can't separate bones on Shabbos, right? It's a problem with fish.
Yeah.
It's not with gefilte fish.
Yeah, no, filter is not a problem.
Delayed.
So the Torah brings down a medrash. Very interesting medrash to know. Torah brings down. He's supposed to mabbe besuda on Erev Yom Kippur. He says like this: maybe be medrash ma'ase b'shoy to the ear. She'amal avda, the head of the city, who told to his eved, the servant, "Kneli dogim, go buy me fish." That day, v'lematz el dag echad, v'nasa v'izov, he found one fish. And he gave a gold coin for that fish. There was a tailor who was there, Jew that was a Jewish tailor, and he outbid him. He bid for that fish. The general's servant gave a gold coin, and the Jew said, "I'll give you 2, 3." It ended up being 5, and the Jew paid 5 gold coins for that fish. And he got it. So Ba Eved Dainov, the Eved went back to his master. The Sipur Kalam Ur told him exactly what happened. So the general got upset. The Jew outbid him. He did 5 for a fish. What do you do? What's your job? I am a tailor. Why to buy a fish that's worth 1 gold coin or 5 gold coins? You're not a rich man. You know, it was my servant who I sent it to buy it to me, and you went against my servant and you gave 5 against my servant, and the general was all upset at him. So the Chayit answered him, how could I not have bought it? Even if it would have cost me 10 gold coins, I would have bought it. To eat it on this day, Hashem gave us a mitzvah to eat today. So I'm not going to go spend so much money on a fish for that day. That's what the Medrash says. Now the question is, the Torah says you should eat. The only thing you can find was fish. You couldn't find some vegetables. You couldn't find some bread.
What about meat?
Meat, whatever. The only thing they had in that town was one piece of fish. So there's only one piece of fish, but there's other things there. So why do you spend so much money for the fish? So they bring down from this story we see there's a mitzvah to eat dogim in Erev Yom Kippur. Fish, especially to eat fish in Erev Yom Kippur. And that's where the minute comes from. People eat fish in Erev Yom Kippur.
Where is the medrash?
It doesn't say where it is. It may be the medrash. The Torah brings down the medrash. It doesn't say where it is.
Salted fish.
It doesn't say where the medrash is. So shoot over here and come fresh salad.
Sushi's fish.
Yeah, of course. You don't have sushi in Michigan.
Fish is
It
fish.
depends. Fish like that. It depends what's inside. I mean,
Fish is fish. Who cares how you have it?
yeah. Yeah, fish is fish.
Okay,
Fish is fish.
Fish is fish. Every have fish.
There you go.
In the mafseket, do it fish?
No.
Oh, what's that? We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Mafseket, you learn it.
Oh, we'll get to that. It says here that Erev Yom Kippur, he went ahead and he got fish. There's a shayla in the poskim if you're allowed to eat fish with Susan of Sekes. Not everything you're allowed to eat the Susan of Sekes. Meat, it says you're not supposed to eat Susan of Sekes. Some people say fish you shouldn't eat Susan of Sekes.
No beef.
Beef, yeah, meat. No beef. Chicken you can eat. But meat, you shouldn't eat. Anything that comes up, you're not supposed to eat in Susan of Sekes. Once I'm not finished yet. That was the mice of the Chayit. So the day that Hashem told us that we should eat, I'm not going to go ahead and pay out. Even 10 gold coins, I would pay for it. And then it's finished with V'sha'anu b'tuchin sha'akadosh Baruch Hu yichapel lanu avoneseinu. And we're betuach that Hashem will forgive us. It's another reason why we should eat fish today. So you see from over here, the reason for Achila every Yom Kippur is not just to prepare for it. Just like you were saying. That it's a since we're Bateach, we're guaranteed, we know that we're going to end up coming out clean. Therefore, there's a mitzvah to eat every Yom Kippur.
Celebrate.
To celebrate. Celebrate beforehand. Yeah,
How does that connect specifically to fish, though?
That we don't know. That doesn't connect to fish. Amalai imkain yafa sisa upatra v'halach l'shalayim. The Shraita said, if that's the case, he did correctly, and he sent him home without punishing him. He said, fine, you're doing it for, I guess, for the right intentions. So, because of the story, it's brought down that people should eat fish every Yom Kippur. Now, on the first Suda, eat fish. The second Suda, some people say you should not eat fish. Not everyone holds that way. Maybe only warm fish you're not supposed to eat, but cold fish you could eat. There are people that do eat fish second Suda also. But the first Suda, definitely, there's an Indian to eat fish.
Why not meat?
It doesn't say meat. You can eat meat the first Suda. The second Suda, you're not supposed to eat meat because it comes up. It says
Chicken is okay.
Chicken's okay, but I have to say it's okay. It doesn't come up as much as meat. Meat comes up, and therefore, say anything that comes up, you shouldn't. Yeah, when you're trying to daven, we all know that the hardest time to daven is by Kol Nidre. Because it's so full, and it can't be mechaven.
You're so full and you're so thirsty.
Yeah, so thoroughly you
No matter how much water you drink, you're so thirsty.
It's very hard by Kol Nidre. That's why you have to be careful what you eat.
But now you take a pill to be to keep things. That's what Xanax for.
Yeah.
You take a Xanax before you eat.
Just keep it down.
20 people. You don't even have to eat.
I don't know how our ancestors managed it without all these pharmaceuticals. I don't know how our fathers managed this without all these pharmaceuticals.
They were careful what they ate.
They had snuff.
They were careful what they ate.
Every day.
Yeah.
They were careful what they ate.
95% of the time.
So you go for Allah, it goes to everything. What's okay to you, what's not okay to you, what's going to come up, what's not going to come up. They knew exactly what was what. Today, we don't know what's what because
everything is chemicals.
Yeah, everything is chemicals and everything is.
Then you swallow a plug.
Yeah.
Take these people for 7 days in a row.
Right, that's in the mitzvah of Achila on Erev Yom Kippur. So you're supposed to eat a Suda in the morning, and then another Suda at the end by Suda Sam Afsekas. And the Suda Sam Afsekas is certain halachas of what to eat and what not to eat.
Someone gave me an email. You get an email? It's like an email from someone, a whole slew of things to eat, not eat.
What, by Suda Sam Afsekas?
Yom Kippur.
By Suda Sam Afsekas, but
all the meals. Eat this, eat this. I didn't look it over anymore.
Oh yeah?
It was interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot written about the Sudas of Yom Kippur, exactly why you should eat, why you're supposed to eat. I saw brought down that people have Lechem Mishnah even, it was like a Yom Tiv. Every Yom Kippur has a din like a Yom Tiv. Every Yom Kippur has a din like a Yom Tiv. Not a full Yom Tiv. I mean, this past Shabbos we said V'inoyam. What's the Shabbos? Because the only time you don't say V'inoyam is a Yom Tiv that's also a Sis Malachim. Because if Purim falls out during the Purim, much out before Purim, you'll say V'hinayim. Because it's not a day, it's a Yom Tov, but not a Yom Tov, they don't do Malach on it. Every Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov. But it's not a Yom Tov, they don't do Malach on it. Therefore, and Yom Kippur is already on Shabbos. So that's considered the next week already. But every Yom Kippur, I'm not even forget, I was in a shul once. And there was Motzei Shabbos this year. Motzei Shabbos before Yom Kippur. And they finished Shemona Esrei, and they weren't sure should they say V'inoyam or not.
What's the question? Shabbos, the next one.
No, because Erev Yom Kippur is a Yom
Yom
Tov.
Kippur, yeah.
Erev Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov.
So they said if you know?
No, they weren't sure. So I was in the back, and the Rav was in the front. And if you not put his calendar from his Lichtenstein, it says nothing there.
You said.
I'm shocked. They had the luachs. Making sense to me. I don't want to say anything. So they're next to me now. I think you're supposed to be nine because it's so it's not be nine, right? So I was a little bit shocked that the law is you say nine. So I waited for everyone to leave. I went to go check out the calendar to see which calendar it was.
It was
last year's calendar.
I know.
There's no way. Luach here says specifically.
Yeah, I pulled it out. It was last year's calendar.
So you called everybody.
No, I didn't say anything. Sometimes you don't say anything.
Except if you know.
Special.
Except you know. Yeah.
I think you said it.
You said it, and you don't say anything.
Especially Erev Yom Kippur.
Every Kippur, you're not going to say.
Sometimes you don't say something. Anyway, I'd love to anyway. Yes, Erev Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov. Now some people would bring their Shabbos Erev Yom Kippur because of that, because it has a din like everyone. Yeah, Mincha is a halacha.
Not everybody knows it.
Mincha is a halacha. You should put a big Shabbos. It's fine. You should put a big Shabbos. Yeah. For Mincha Erev Yom Kippur, you're supposed to put a big Shabbos. But even in the early in the day, there are some people that wear big Shabbos because Erev Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov. But then it's interesting thing the Minchas Chinuch says, which is he holds the Minchas Chinuch spoke about before says that the din of Achila Erev Yom Kippur is the same thing as the Isser Achila on Yom Kippur. Right? The same way Isser Achila on Yom Kippur is Kikei Seves, the Mitzvah Achila Erev Yom Kippur is also Kikei Seves. And it says therefore Poshet the Erev Yom Kippur Mitzvah Lechol Ein Chi of Dafka B'Pas for Shabbos Yom Tov. There's no din to eat bread.
Really? All these
That's what the Minchas Chinuch says. There's no din to eat bread.
Not a
you have to eat.
It's not a suda.
Not in Suda.
Sorry?
According to the Minchas Chinuch, it's not a din Suda.
Have a suda, right?
So no, that's not a mitzvah deraisa. We make a suda. The minute we have a suda in the morning,
Right.
but it's not the mitzvah. Is achila. What's the chiyuv deraisa? And then holopchus and krepluch is not deraisa, right?
But suda my second suda. It's called a suda.
It's called suda of second. It's the last suda, but it's not. Didn't tell you they have to wash.
You don't have.
You don't have to wash.
So
No.
for both of those meals, you don't have to wash?
According to the Minchas Chinuch, you don't have to wash. Don't eat pas. The minhag is we have pas. The minhag they have pas for the afternoon for the suda of seconds. The minhag is short to have pas. In the morning, the first suda also the minhag is to have pas to wash. But if someone feels they can't wash in the morning, okay, eat something else. At least you eat something in the morning. That will be a suda in the morning, which you have anyway. Everyone eats breakfast in the morning anyway. You may as well, when you're eating breakfast in the morning, be mechavan the mitzvah of achila of Erev Yom Kippur. It's not dafka din and pas. No, the minhag is to eat krepluch.
Yeah. The 3 times you clap.
Yeah.
That's right. I had that.
We clap
I had that
Yeah.
lunchtime.
Rabbi, Suda. Yeah, what's the minhag? Why do we krepluch?
The thing is,
So the reason why we krepluch is there's a few reasons. But the main reason they say is because Erev Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov. But it's not a full Yom Tov. Right? You do malacha. It's a hidden Yom Tov. So anytime it's a Yom Tov, but it's a hidden Yom Tov, you take meat and you cover it with dough, whatever it is, and you show that it's a hidden Yom Tov. That's why Yom Kippur, Hashanah Rabbah, and Purim, 3 times that's hidden Yom Tov. Some people say because meat is a din, and you cover your din, but that's not answer why eat it on Purim and Hashanah Rabbah.
No, Hashanah Rabbah, yeah, maybe you could get it because it's
safe then, yeah, safe then. But the remedy they say to that is anytime you clap, you eat Hashanah, you eat krepla. When do you clap? When do you hit Al-Chait, you hit Hashanahs, and you hit Haman, clap Haman, Purim. But the 3 times that you eat krepla during the year, the 3 times that you clap.